ABA is a therapy that's based on the science of learning and behavior. And it's an approach that we use in working with individuals with autism, and really not necessarily just individuals with autism, but for the purpose of today, we're specifically referring to the ABA benefit or the ABA coverage for children with autism. It's critical because when autism is identified early, we can use this approach and treatment in order to mitigate and teach very important language, communication, and social skills to children with autism, and really dramatically change the trajectory and quality of life, not just for the child, but for the family as well. And when a child does receive early access after a diagnosis, we can see dramatic gains where kids can be integrated and mainstreamed. And while not always the case, we do see qualitative changes in their lives with early access to treatments.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Ivy. Judith, let's turn to you. I'd love for you to describe how ABA has positively impacted your family.
Oh my goodness. So I first heard about applied behavior analysis when my son, Jack, who is now 18, and I always refer to him as a stinky teenager because he's got that attitude going. But when he was 2, he was diagnosed on the severe end of the autism spectrum. And our pediatrician in Texas talked to me about ABA therapy. And I first read about it and I thought, no way, my child is not going to go through all these hours of therapy. This just seems, very just cumbersome for a toddler and for our family. But as I learned about Jack and I learned about autism and the need for him to be empowered to communicate and connect to the world around him in his own way, I understood why my pediatrician talked to me that way and why she suggested applied behavior analysis. The evidence base was really strong. And what I learned was my child, who really, his ability to communicate was paralyzed. He couldn't point, he couldn't speak, he couldn't make eye contact. Like there was no way to know what was going on inside. So one-on-one therapy with very well-trained therapists, BCBAs who became partners with our family to really respect our values and to work with who we were, it was just empowering for Jack. And then as he learned and as he grew, he definitely learned and grew at his own pace. And I did observe other children doing really, really well. And moms, that's what we do is we compare, right? So some kids I saw really take off and respond and go into mainstream kindergarten and do really well. And of course, that's kind of the dream when you first start out. But I learned with Jack, we were kind of on a different journey. But I also learned too that our team, our ABA providers, were always there, again, sharing our values and seeing Jack as an individual human being. So when he got to be around 7 or 8, we really started talking about the need for augmentative communication for him, looking for evidence-based supports in that way, and also bringing in exercise for Jack. And so we created an ABA program that implemented 30 minutes of cardiovascular every day. And then he ended up running on the high school cross-country team. So I could go on and on with just the empowerment that it provided for the amazing human being that is my son. So I'm thankful for the providers, for the collaboration, and the empowerment that ABA has provided to our family.